Check.
On behalf of the organizers, I would like to welcome everyone to today's Proof Symposium, sponsored by the Courant Institute of New York University, the Manhattan Theater Club, and the Sloan Foundation, in connection with the opening of the Broadway play Proof. My name is Marcia Berger, and I'm the Deputy Director of Courant. Today's series of 3 panels will discuss issues and ideas related directly or indirectly to the play. It is my pleasure to start today's program by introducing Dean Richard Foley, Professor of Philosophy and Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Science. Can I ask you please to turn off cell phones and beepers before we start the program? Richard.
Turning off.
Thank you.
First thing I'm doing is turning off mine. So I just want to briefly welcome you on behalf of NYU. We're delighted to play a part in this event, which is really a uniquely New York event. It's hard to think of another place where you could put together an event of this sort with leaders in such diverse fields: mathematics, physics, philosophy, theater, and we thank Sloan and the Manhattan Theater Club for thinking of us. We're glad to be a part of this. It's my pleasure to introduce Doran Weber, who runs the programs for public understanding of science and technology and the history of science and technology programs at the Sloan Foundation. His primary responsibility is for the Foundation's efforts to educate and to engage the public through books, radio, public television, commercial television and film, theater, and media. He has responsibility for heading Sloan's efforts to support selective scientific events of national concerns and targeted public policy initiatives as well. Prior to joining Sloan in 1995, Mr. Weber served as Director of Communications at Rockefeller University, and prior to that, Director of Communications for the Society for the Right to Die. He is the co-author of 3 nonfiction books: Safe Blood, Purifying the Nation's Blood Supply in the Age of AIDS, The Complete Guide to Living Wills, and Final Passages, Positive Choices for the Dying and Their Loved Ones. He is the author of numerous articles and reviews appearing in other places: New York Times, USA Today, Barron's, Village Voice, Boston Review. And his first novel is called The Deserters, is coming out next year. Mr. Weber was educated at Brown, where he took his BA, and Oxford University, where he was a Rhodes Scholar. He received a Fulbright. He currently serves as Secretary of New York State Committee for Rhodes Scholarship, and he's Treasurer of the Writers' Room. He's a member of the Council of Foreign Relations, the American Association for the Advancement of Science, and the National Writers Union. It's my pleasure to present you with Doran Weber, Sloan Foundation.
Thanks very much. That introduction shows the dangers of a website. I suggested one sentence about my role here, but I guess my bio is on the web. Anyway, on behalf of the Sloan Foundation, it's a pleasure to be here and to welcome you to this symposium. Before I make a few remarks about Sloan's role in this, I'm just curious, how many of you have actually seen the play, by show of hands, just so I get it? Wow. Okay, well then everyone knows what we're speaking about. This event marks the beginning of a new partnership between the Manhattan Theater Club and the Sloan Foundation to develop new plays about science and technology and to nurture playwrights working in this arena. For the next 3 years, MTC will serve as an annual home to a new Sloan Playwriting Fellow, and this year's selection is Glenn Berger, and produce readings, workshops, and ultimately a fully staged play that explores science technology themes in fresh, innovative ways, or portrays scientists and engineers in a dramatically compelling fashion. This relationship started, appropriately enough, when MTC sent us an early draft of a promising new play called Proof. So we're especially pleased to be here today And let me mention another play that Manhattan Theater Club produced last year in connection, nothing to do with us, but a very impressive play called Experiment with an Air Pump, which they invited me to see, which was, for anyone who gets a chance to see it, I strongly recommend it, by Sheila Stevenson. The Sloan Foundation has previously partnered with the Ensemble Studio Theater in a similar effort to bridge the gap between the two cultures, and that program has produced new plays such as Jeff Stanley's Tesla's Letter, Arthur Giron's Moving Bodies, and this year's highly successful Symposium on Michael Frayn's play Copenhagen, which, as most of you know, went on to win the Tony. The Manhattan Theater Club collaboration forms part of the Foundation's broader national effort to stimulate leading artists in film, television, and theater to create more credible work about science and technology and to challenge existing stereotypes about scientists and engineers and mathematicians in the popular imagination. We've supported 6 of the leading film schools across the country, including the Tisch School here at NYU, and we're working with leading Hollywood producers to create a new network television series that will feature scientists and engineers. And this weekend, we presented the first Sloan Feature Film Award at the Hamptons International Film Festival to a wonderful film called Songcatcher, which will be opening in December. I recommend that as well. And our message in all of this is very simple. We believe there are wonderful, diverse characters and great stories that have gone largely untold, a potential goldmine for playwrights and screenwriters. Yet, how many intelligent plays or movies about scientists or engineers or mathematicians can you name? Well, thanks to David Auburn's Proof and Manhattan Theater Club's talented stewardship, we can now add at least one to that list. Before we begin with the panel, let me just recognize our host for today, the Courant Institute for Mathematical Sciences, and thank David McLaughlin and his entire staff for all their hard work and support in putting this together. Courant is a world-class center for math and computer science, and we literally couldn't think of a better partner for this event. And of course, a big thanks to Lynn Meadow and Barry Grove of the Manhattan Theater Club and their very hard-working team, especially David Shukoff, Lisa Kurt, and the heroic Susan Cook, wherever you are, Susan, who did so much to put this together. Manhattan Theater Club is really an exceptional theater organization, just a total quality act from top to bottom, and we're very proud to be associated with them. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Peter Sarnak, professor of math at Princeton and moderator of the first panel. And I'm not going to go through his bio because I don't have it but as exhaustively, but I will mention that among his prestigious list of awards like the Polio Prize and his membership in the Academy of Arts and Sciences, I noticed that he was a Sloan Fellow many years ago, and that's a scientific award that's given to scientists and mathematicians and economists early in their career, and 22 of those people have gone on to win the Nobel Prize. So let's just hope that the theatrical fellows that we're beginning here in 20, 30 years now will earn a similar raft of Tonys and Pulitzers and all the rest of it. Anyway, Dr. Sarnak.